and hearty welcome to all of you, starting with the speakers. Dati Desai of President TiE New York and co-chair TiE Women. Shivani Gupta, co-founder of Inoki Care and first prize winner of TiE Women Global Summit, Global Competition 2020. And our own chair of TiE Women at TiE Kerala, Revati Krishna. Is also director, Suyati Technologies, and co-chair of TiE Women Kerala, Vinodini Sukumar, director, Team One Advertising. And I extend the welcome to all the charter members who joined here, associate members, and all the attendees. So we are here to launch the first edition of TiE Women, even though it's a second edition running globally. So this is essentially a global pitch competition which brings together winners from different chapters and culminating in a global competition at Dubai during the World Expo in October. I think it's planned. It's similar to our own Capital Cafe that we conduct, but it's more detailed in terms of it involves interactive training, active learning workshops, mentoring sessions, etc. And most wonderfully, it offers an opportunity to win $100,000 prize money for the top winner. That's very exciting. I happened to listen to our star CEO, global CEO, Indira Nui of ex-Pepsi at Tycon SV, and she was in her address, the one thing she pointed out very clearly was that the percentage of women entrepreneurs was very, very minuscule. And I think TiE Global has taken cognizance of this and taken and put a lot of emphasis on, an exclusive initiative of Pitch Fest for women entrepreneurs. So more details will ensue in the speaker addresses to follow. In last year, the first edition globally of TiE Women, 26 chapters participated in the program with over 200 entrepreneurs registering. And at the finals, the prize money distributed was 100,000 for the first winner, 25,000 for the second place, and 10,000 for the third place. And we have the last year's winner also going to be the speaker, Shivani Gupta, speaking to us later on. Now, we have among the audience our charter members, associate members, and I think the majority of the audience I'm led to believe are non-members. So I must say a few words about TiE, mundane as it is, it may sound. So TiE, it stands for the Indus Entrepreneur, the global not-for-profit organization headquartered in Silicon Valley with a single mission of fostering entrepreneurship. Now we facilitate this through our two-tier structure of charter member and associate members. Charter members are the established members who are net givers, and associate members are the beginners, so to say, the net takers. This is our structure. TiE Kerala has been there, it's chartered since 2002, and our own dream goal we define as an entrepreneur in every home. We, as a chapter, we are a statewide chapter, very rare in the TiE fraternity. We have, TiE has almost 61 chapters worldwide. One thing unique about our chapter is the diversity of domains, right from infotech, hospitality, healthcare, automobile, agriculture, food processing. We have a very diverse domain portfolio among our charter members, and most of them are leaders in their own domain. So associate members stand to gain a lot from the interaction and to learn a lot. We conduct a host of programs, like our flagship program being TiECon, which happens during November, TiECon Kerala, usually conducted in November or December. We have startup showcases. We have coffee pe charcha, which is a intimate story session from established entrepreneurs. We have member mixer program. We have Capital Cafe, which is like the Pitch Fest. Last year, we curated 30 startups from out of 300 initial shortlist. So these are our activities, and we also have Kerala Angel Network with acronym CAN to facilitate funding to promote entrepreneurship. Now, having said that, to my message to the non-members would be I would strongly encourage you all to take up a membership of TiE and enrich your journey of entrepreneurship, with great value adds. And to the rest of the participants, I give my best wishes, especially the contestants going forward and bring home the $100,000. Thank you, and over to you, Revati.
Thank you, Ajit. And welcome everyone. Just as you know how TiE established a great model for fostering student entrepreneurship in Kerala, we are betting that the TiE Women program will help establish a solid ecosystem for women entrepreneurs in the state. As Ajit mentioned, the program was launched last year with an aim to embrace, engage, and empower women entrepreneurs across the globe. Embrace, engage, empower. Each word by itself is a mission for a lifetime, but TiE Women had the chutzpah to take on all three. And before I introduce the speakers for today, I would like to read out a special message sent by Hemalata Navalai, President TiE Coimbatore, and she was the chair for TiE Women for 2020. She was instrumental in pushing us to apply for this last year, but for various reasons we couldn't. So there's a special message from her, and I quote: "The sky is not the limit for the women in Kerala. In my last visit during TiE's Women Business Summit, I saw credible ventures showcased by women. May they see success and fully leverage other successful entrepreneurs through TiE Women and TiE Global." Thank you, Himrata. Now, as most of you know, I'm a big stickler for time. So here's a quick agenda. After I introduce the speaker, they will speak for 10 to 15 minutes, followed by questions from me. If there is time, I will open the floor to questions from the audience. Please, if you have any questions, do send it to me via the chat Q&A. I hope to wrap this up by 7:15. That's a plan. So on to the program for today. Let's start. I would like to first introduce TiE Desai, entrepreneur, advisor, board member, investor. TiE is a co-chair for TiE Women and president of TiE New York. She has more than 23 years of versatile global experience, spanning direct marketing, wines, that's WINES, wines, printing, packaging, lifestyle industry, and not-for-profit organizations. Her broad areas of expertise include deep data-driven analytics, marketing strategy enhancement, branding, digital communications, and team building. TiE is an investor through Plum Alley.co in New York. It's a syndicate focused on women and gender-diverse founders. She also sits on advisory boards of companies, the digital marketing and not-for-profit sectors. She's an investor through Bodhi Capital in early stage companies in fashion, fintech, hospitality, and health tech. She has been invited to judge and deliver keynote addresses at startup pitch competitions, conferences, hosted multiple webinars on marketing. TiE holds a BA in sociology from Mumbai University, and I hope I say this right, a Diplôme Supérieur in French from the Alliance France, and is enrolled in level 3 of the Wine and Spirits Education Trust, New York. She's author of DM in India guidebook and has been a jury member for the ECO Awards of the DMA, which is the Direct Marketing Association USA, since 2017. So by the way, this is a short version of her resume. Welcome, TiE. The floor is all yours.
Revati, thank you so much for that warm welcome. I also want to thank Ajit Mupan, my colleague in the other part of the world, in TiE Kerala. A big thank you to Vinodini as well, and to Nirmal, and to the rest of the TiE Kerala team. A special welcome to Shivani, our winner from 2020. It's truly an honor and a privilege to be here. I do hope and pray sincerely that everyone is doing well in the extraordinary circumstances that India is going through. Thank you for inviting me here. And thank you, Revati, for that special message from Hema. That really means a lot to have her blessings for TiE Kerala. And I know how much she has done in onboarding, not just Kerala, but a lot of other chapters as well. I was very privileged to be vice chair when she was the chair for TiE Women when we launched it in 2019. Since November 2019 to now, this little initiative has become a movement. We say it takes a village, to bring change. I think in our case, in the case of TiE Global, it's many villages. It's villages in different parts of the world. We have, we get asked a lot as to why we came up with this pitch competition format to start an initiative to foster women entrepreneurs. It's a very simple answer. For us, it was all about being able to write checks for as many women as we could, starting with small numbers, but making sure that through the journey to get to that, culmination that Ajit mentioned in Dubai for the global finals, we are able to impact a lot more and create change makers from the women entrepreneurial community globally. And it's not been a difficult task at all. First of all, it's been a constant learning, but it's been a huge amount of enrichment for myself, for all of us. My current co-chair for TiE Women Global is Smita Siddhanti. She is the past president of TiE Washington, DC. She's currently on the Global Board of Trustees and a terrific co-chair. The program is also led by our program director, Kanika Radhakrishnan, who is a charter member of TiE Bangalore, is also on the governing council of TiE Bangalore. We have a stellar management committee that consists of our Dubai chapter's co-lead, Shamima Parveen, who's now on the management committee of TiE Women. We have the past chair of the TiE Global Board of Trustees, Mahavir Pratap Sharma. He's also on the TiE Women Management Committee. And we have Vijay Menon, who is the executive director of TiE Global. Most of you know him and the amount of passion and work that he puts into everything that he does, whether it's TiE, TiE University, and now TiE Women for the last 18 months. So truly, when you have this kind of, empowerment around you, I think, Revati, the first two, the embracing and the engaging becomes, not that difficult. And the reason I said, it's a movement is when Hema and I first, started this and, took this on, we had many calls and many conversations about, how to go about this. And, the best part was we said to ourselves, very simply and truthfully, that if we are able to bring on 10 chapters, from our global ecosystem in the first year, we will be thrilled. And we would have really felt like, okay, we made a difference. As many of you may know, we've had several programs in the past that were driven towards fostering women entrepreneurs, like AirSui, and whose chair was Seema Chaturvedi, the past president of TiE Miami. A fantastic program that was focused on fostering women entrepreneurs from B and C towns of India. I had the privilege of being a mentor for the second edition of AirSui, which stood for the All India Roadshow for Women's Economic Empowerment through Entrepreneurship. It was a program funded by the US Department of State. For me, that was the beginning of many things, at a personal level, the connections that I made at a entrepreneurial level, but deeper spiritual connects that I made with women entrepreneurs from different parts of India. I went to Patna in Bihar, and I went to Hubli in Karnataka to do my bit, to encourage women entrepreneurs to, never give up and go get whatever dream it is that they are after. Lo and behold, the 10 chapters, after 1 year of rigorous work by Hema and I and a lot of the other committee members, we ended up, as Ajit said, with 26 chapters globally. We had over 2,200 applications from early and late stage women entrepreneurs. We were able to directly impact over 200 women entrepreneurs. All this happened because of terrific leadership from all the chapters that participated. Leaders like Revati and Vinodini. This year, our second edition, we are close to touching 40 chapters out of the 62 chapters globally. And we are hoping that we double the applications. If we don't, we will still put in the same amount of effort, possibly more, because we are now even more empowered. And we look forward to a terrific culmination at GITEX, which is a huge show. We have a special dedicated pavilion from the tech future stars of GITEX. It's in the middle of October in Dubai. We are very excited to rinse and repeat from our last year's experience as far as our flagship pitch competition program is concerned. We have been very fortunate to be able to add a lot of other pillars that truly embrace, engage, and empower women entrepreneurs of all stages across the globe. So while we focused on early and late stage entrepreneurs last year, this year we have made sure that we are very inclusive and we are able to embrace any stage entrepreneur, especially the grassroots entrepreneur who's sitting on an idea that could change the world. We have launched programs like Open Mic Night, which are really, it's a 2-minute platform, and I encourage all the chapters to participate in that. We have a lot of amazing force that is emerging from Open Mic Night. You come to the stage for 2 minutes, talk about your idea, concept, whatever stage you are at, end this 2-minute pitch with an ask. This ask is really very important because this ask is what makes us roll up our sleeves and work even more and get deeper insights into what are the different pain points that we can touch as far as women entrepreneurs are concerned. The more we engage with every chapter across the globe, the more we learn, the more we share, and the more we collaborate. I'm going to pause here, Revati, because I would really like to spotlight Shivani, who's the founder of Inochi. She's the winner from last year's global finals. She's an incredible entrepreneur. Her humility, her simplicity, and her dynamism are very infectious. And so I would really love to hear a lot more from her. By the way, we don't have to pay her to say anything about TiE women. It's truly a privilege and an honor to spotlight Shivani Gupta, our winner from last year. Welcome, Shivani.
Hi. Thank you so much, Dharti. And it's true, no one needs to pay anything to anyone here because we know how this association has been TiE with all the peers and with all the participants which were there in 2020 edition. So thank you so much, Dharti. Thank you all the TiE members and especially TiE Kerala for having me here today.
Over to you, Revati.
Thank you, Dorothy. And I apologize on behalf of everyone at TiE, Shivani, for getting a company name wrong. It's Inochi, like Inochi Care.
Yeah, this is
Thank you.
Inochi Care, right? Yeah.
So I have a few questions. I will ask it of Dorothy first, and then we will get into Shivani's presentation. So the first question, lessons learned from TiE Women 2020.
Big and small, there are so many, Revati. Learning on the job, I think, is part of the entrepreneurial journey. So Hema and I definitely learned on the job, and so did the rest of the committee that came on board. But I think one of the most critical lessons for us was around understanding, what true inclusion is about, right? As far as entrepreneurship is concerned, right? And I think it's a little more sensitive and delicate when it comes to women entrepreneurs. Our challenges were, multiple, but because we have such a diverse ecosystem and we're talking about multiple geographies and multiple cultures, we had to be very cognizant of how we designed best practices, how we designed a plug and play that chapters could really pick up and run with, and enable these chapters to create an ecosystem, with the force of women entrepreneurs that can give anyone a run for their money. And learning of this lesson was, to be honest, it's ongoing. It's still, a work in progress. And we're counting on all these powerful chapter leaders like you and Vinodini to keep enhancing and, coming to us with intentional, purpose-driven ideas that really help us foster the change makers in the world that we are all a part of currently.
So as an investor yourself, what do you look for in an entrepreneur? What will make you invest in a company or in an entrepreneur?
I love this question, for several reasons. I'm going to try to keep it very brief. I have evolved as an entrepreneur. And when I say evolved, it's a fancy word to say I've made a lot of mistakes, but we all learn from our mistakes and somehow we become better. Similarly, I became an accidental investor. I had no idea I was going to end up investing. So along the way, I think that has also evolved. So if you ask me how I invested 7 years ago, 5 years ago, and currently, I think one thing that has remained in common, and this probably comes from my own background and my own challenges that I faced as an entrepreneur, and not necessarily as a woman entrepreneur, because I think it's really, for any kind of entrepreneur, right? It's always been around two things: focusing on the founder and his or her story, or their story for that matter, and a simple concept of validating what it is that we are trying to solve. And when I say validating, whether it's a product, whether it's a service, let's have a conversation where you can truly say to me, I've got 100 people excited about my product or service. To me, that's validation. And I really look at that very closely. And it could be, a validation where no one's paying anything, but we managed to solve somebody's problem. And Shivani can tell you about her amazing startup and what she's doing and how she's changing the world. And Shivani is definitely our ambassador for every woman that went to Dubai for the finals, for every woman that participated in every chapter that participated across the globe. And every entrepreneur's journey has a unique story. But if we look at all of us collectively, and I include myself and Revati, you and Vinodini as well, and Ajit as well, of course, we know that this is really true of everything that we've done. And in that sense, TiE Women is also a startup. So we are delivering our proof of concept, we're validating, we're getting people excited. We started with a small number, let's just keep growing that. So two things: the founder and their story or stories, and validate whatever it is that you're trying to fix as far as your startup is concerned. Solve, address, whatever it is.
Nice. I like that aspect a lot. Okay, so based on your experience and based on the stories that you've listened to in the last few years, what are some of the challenges? I wouldn't say biggest challenges because there are a lot of challenges, as you said, all of us face. Each entrepreneur's journey is unique, but say the top three challenges faced by women entrepreneurs.
I think one of the challenges that has really emerged from starting from the time that I was a part of AirSui and then all the way until now, there is some kind of a hesitation, call it a fear, when it comes to asking for help. I've gone through that myself, and I observe it with a lot of the women entrepreneurs that I interact with, whether I'm mentoring, whether I'm investing, I see that a lot. There is some hesitation in asking for help. And I think our primary job, as flag bearers for this initiative is really to be able to draw, that sentiment out and say, it's okay to put your hand up and say, I need help. I think that's a massive challenge. Number two is holding yourself back. And probably it has a lot to do with the number one challenge. If we manage to believe that I am the right person in the right place at the right time for the right job, no one is going to stop us. But I think because we hesitate to ask for help, we hesitate for other things as well. And I think the third challenge is a little bit extreme because when we are founders, and I think this is true for all entrepreneurs, we tend to bury our heads in the sand and we forget to look around, especially the pace at which the world is moving in the last few years. And the pandemic has probably just exaggerated that multiple times. I think, removing our head from that sand and looking around, of course, by starting and saying, I need help, networking, being a part of ecosystems like TiE, taking advantage of the challenges in a sense that they are really the drivers of opportunity. And the example, again, I will use is of this pandemic. We have witnessed, Revati, so many pivots in the last 18 months of entrepreneurs, and definitely women entrepreneurs, who have said to themselves, there is an opportunity in this challenge, and let me make the most of it. The more conversations you have with people around you, the more effective this pivoting becomes.
The top three challenges looks like lack of funds is not in the top three, and that's very surprising. Okay, so it's more to do with our belief, confidence, and just to step up and say, hey, I need help.
Funds are there, Revati, the funds follow. Yes, I know we all look at statistics and we say funding is a huge gap. That's how we started this program. That's how, this initiative was all about. Along the way, we've discovered so many, bigger challenges that we need to overcome before we get to that stage where we say, okay, we are ready to be funded. And I think if you're truly ready, the funds just follow.
And my last question for you, what advice do you give to those preparing for the Pitch Fest this year?
Simple.
We do a lot of applicants and to be applicants in the audience.
Please take advantage of the ecosystem within the chapter that you're applying to. With all the local programming, Ajit mentioned such fantastic initiatives that TiE Kerala has been a part of for the last so many years. Please take advantage of the local ecosystem in phase one. So our flagship pitch competition program, which is really our focus for today, we run that program in two phases. Phase one is really focused on the chapter leading this part of the program. And then from September 1st until the culmination and actually beyond, TiE Women Global takes over. Again, we encourage you to be a part of it. The accelerators that we'll be running in phase two will be open to 3 runners up per chapter times almost 40 chapters. So imagine the network that you're going to walk away with. And Shivani can tell you more about the network for the winners in Dubai. And the platform that we create in Dubai, because we're virtual, we have access to the best of the global resources and talent. And this is the wonderful thing about the TiE global ecosystem. Tap into it and please leverage it. And don't worry about winning competitions. That's wonderful. It's great. But enjoy the journey and most importantly, the company along the way, because that's what's really going to enhance all of what you do, whether you succeed at your current enterprise or you fail at it. Believe me, you'll have so much more that you will take away for your next big adventure. I'm a witness of that.
Thank you. Well said. If you have any questions for Dharti, please put it in your Q&A and I will round back to you once Shivani's discussion is over. So our next speaker for today is Shivani Gupta. As all of you know, Shivani Gupta is a co-founder of TiE. It's a medtech startup. TiE is an innovation-driven company solving unmet clinical needs since 2017. With an MSc in biotechnology, a PhD from BITS Pilani, and I'm not done yet, and an I Fellow from the School of International Biodesign, Shivani has focused on healthcare innovation projects in the past, including faster diagnosis of infectious diseases, which has been commercialized. And as all of you know, she was a chapter winner from TiE Kolkata and the winner of TiE Women Global Pitch Fest last December at Dubai. Welcome, Shivani, and over to you.
Thank you, Revati. Thank you so much for the kind introduction. And it's really an honor and privilege to be associated with TiE and be there with a lot of new TiE launch events, also new chapters participating and getting to interact with newer TiE members. So it really has been a privilege. So as Revati mentioned, our company is a medtech startup based out of New Delhi, India. We are a health tech startup. Our journey basically started as a part of the healthcare fellowship located at All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi, where the focus of Government of India was to find the unmet clinical needs, where we can innovate something to solve the problems of various stakeholders in the healthcare industry. That is where we went through a year-long immersion, going through all kind of healthcare ecosystem, all kind of healthcare fields which are there in India, and identified what are the major issues where people are struggling, whether they are healthcare professionals or the patients, and where we can fill these gaps and how we can bridge those gaps. That is where we came up with this idea, on which we formed this company, TiE. And at TiE, we are focusing on developing newer innovative technologies for management of chronic wounds. So in a simpler terms, I would tell you, like a lot of us would have heard about diabetic foot ulcers, bed sores, or the trauma wounds. So our body loses the natural capacity to heal these wounds. At that time, these wounds becomes chronic wounds and it needs assistance. That is where we are developing this innovative technology, which assists in faster healing of these wounds. And we have been very, very privileged having support from Government of India, MedTech Innovator, and TiE, starting from TiE Kolkata to TiE Global, TiE Dubai, TiE Women, and I will say whole TiE family. So it has been an amazing journey, and it was a really good experience, not only in India. We are now really looking forward to other global opportunities, especially which opened up after the TiE Global.
Could you tell us a little bit more on your journey to get to TiE? I know you got your PhD and your MSc and your PhD and all that, but what made you think about entrepreneurship? What made you come up with this idea?
Yeah, so as like any other PhD candidate, till I was I would say in middle of my PhD, the plan was, okay, finish my PhD, submit my thesis, let's find a good postdoc and do the basic sciences. But then something happened. I got to do a project with my guide during my PhD, which was not purely on the basic sciences, where we had a applied sciences and we were developing something for the infectious diseases. So that is, and I was doing my PhD at Hyderabad, and I got to associate with TiE Hyderabad. That is the beauty of TiE also. All the places you will find some chapter to associate with. So as a student participant, I participated in the RICE business plan competition with that idea. So that is where I know, okay, science is not always about publishing papers also. You can really develop something which, when you see a real value in front of your eyes, you need not to wait for like, okay, like after 100 years, something will develop out of it. So that was, I would say, a kind of experience. I realized I would like to do something with my science where I see a value being generated on the real lives of people. And with support from TiE Hyderabad at that time, I realized, okay, what entrepreneurship is, what a business plan competition is, what a business model canvas is. So that was during the last year of my PhD, and I started thinking about these lines. And then perfect, that fellowship gave me that opportunity to do a healthcare entrepreneurship. That is how the transition happened from PhD to entrepreneurship.
That's an excellent story. I was part of TiE Hyderabad for my class one, and one of the founders for MedTech said the exact same thing. She said, "Sure, I created a company, registered it, and then bought." So she didn't know what she had to do then to push forward this. She had patents on her idea, and she didn't know what to do next. And that's very important for entrepreneurs to have somebody support them, guide them, because your focus is always going to be on your product. That's your baby. And I'm glad you had TiE Hyderabad to support you. Tell me a little bit more. I have no science background upfront. I'll tell you that about how this technology helps. Say diabetic foot ulcer. How does it?
So I'll tell it in very, very simple language, not using so much of science and technology. So when we see someone is having a diabetic foot ulcer, so our body's natural repair mechanism has gone on the back foot, that is not able to take care of these complications. And when we say our body is like I would say a machine which has lot of parallel mechanisms happening inside. When we say lots of biochemical reactions, lot of biomechanisms happening, but due to presence of this foot ulcer or a wound, that mechanism is broken. Now our body cells are not able to generate that support, that biomechanisms are not functional. So what our product does is that mimic that biomechanisms, that accelerate those biophysical and biochemical interactions, like maintaining the right amount of pressure, moisture, temperature, or the fluid delivery, all simultaneously, so that the natural biomechanisms which are broken are now maintained through this intervention, so that the wound can heal, which was not able to heal otherwise. So it is this natural response system which is broken due to the presence of that ulcer.
And this technology is available in India.
Yes, we right now, as you know, the medical devices or the medical products have certain different kind of a pathway than any other. When we talk about the consumer products, our technology is undergoing at a pilot clinical trial is done for the next stage of trials and the regulatory approvals from the medical councils. We are going through that process so that it can be there commercially in the market.
So how soon do you think, God willing, COVID willing, all approval willing, how soon do you think this would hit the market?
We plan it to so ideally we planned it to be there like within the by 2-3 months. Our plan was that from today's timeline, but given the today's situation, you know how the systems has been, and our product is a core medical technology. So this as the nation's focus is slightly on the COVID-19 at that time, and that is a requirement also. But keeping all this in buffer, within next 6 months, we aim to have this product available in the market.
So probably everybody has asked you this question. Ever since you won the 100,000 USD, how has your business changed? How have you changed? And how are you using this for your business?
Every time someone asks this question, I have this smile on my face, because first it brings back that memory of the stage when the prize was announced. And I remember Mahavir and Dharti on the stage, and everyone was just holding their breath and crossing their fingers what's going to happen. So it was really, really good memory. But in terms of when you say about the prize money, being a first generation entrepreneurs and being a startup, we are always in need of money, and expenses are decided before we get in the money. Like, okay, where we need the funds, and definitely this chunk of money which we are getting from TiE gave us that flexibility to pace up our regulatory approvals, because when we talk about medical device regulation and approval certifications, it involves a lot of cost also. So this money is helping us with that. But along with that, I would say that was one part, the money, but it really, really opened up the global opportunities for us as a business. Because as one of the women, this year's applicant was asking me, like, what do you get? Like, why we should apply for this TiE program? Is it like any other accelerator programs which keep happening here and there? Should I go for it? So I was thinking, and I just said, when we entrepreneurs think we need money, we need networking or the mentorship or the hand holding sometime, and we need validation of our work from the industry experts. And all these three things in combination, you get a TiE. So that is how our perspective and our business changed after TiE. I would say the global opportunities, the flexibility with the funds, and the kind of people approaching us to join our team. So like it was really, really good experience.
Excellent. You're right, Dante. She's a spokesperson for Thai women already. Great. I've got a couple more questions for you. I know winning the prize definitely was the most satisfying moment or highlight of your Thai women journey from Kolkata to Dubai. But a couple more moments that you can tell us, because a lot of the audience are applicants, women entrepreneurs. What else was most satisfying for you?
Uh, I think the very satisfying moment, one of the moment was when you get to hear feedback about your work, not only from the jury members, but also from the peers. When we talk about a global level competition, you have peers from different parts of the world, different parts of the country also. They have not heard about your work sometime before. They are not from your industry, but you get to hear a very different perspective, very different kind of feedback, which you have never thought that ways. I think that was a very satisfying thing, which gives you a kind of validation to the effort which we as a team are putting into developing this product or this technology. So that was very, very good experience. And second, I would tell you, during this event, during the semi-finals day, when we had a day-long event with 27 pitches going on, trust me, it was so amazing, everyone's work, that no one left the room. No one from morning 8 to 7:30 in the evening, because every presentation was so interesting, so diverse, and everyone wanted to collaborate with each other. So I would say a strong peer network which we formed there, that was very, very satisfying.
Excellent. Okay, so I have to ask this question. So, some of the challenges you faced as a woman entrepreneur. Well, again, top three, I'm sure. Multiple challenges, but top three.
So honestly, saying this question, I wouldn't say as a woman entrepreneur. Fortunately, I would say, I don't know how, maybe having a good team or having good mentors or having support from good people. It was not a particularly woman entrepreneur's challenge. It was challenges which every entrepreneur would have experienced, I would say. It was like when we are doing any kind of work for the first time, sometimes we are not able to see, okay, what next, how to solve this problem which we have not worked in any, for example, how to conduct, how to put your device on a patient, what are the regulations involved, what are the safety tests involved. So you need to learn it step by step by doing it sometimes. So I would say the challenges were all which we experience in, like, sometimes it is as small as procuring one component, sometimes it's as big as, okay, we have 3 months funding left, what to do next. So it was on those lines, not in particularly as a woman entrepreneur, I would say, because I think the times has been changing. There are a lot of opportunities now for women entrepreneurs, and we really are focusing on that thing. Let's leave the challenges behind, and lot of opportunities coming on the way.
Hear that, absolutely true. So the next two questions are going to be very specific to Thai women. I've got three of them written down, and I have one from my list that I sent you. What advice would you give to those preparing for the pitch fest, in particularly the mistakes that you learned from for the preparation for pitch fest, and what helped you win? What set you apart? Um, and I know this is very tough to fine tune and distill and mention, but in your mind, what do you think helped you um, at the final outcome?
So I would say when you are preparing for this thing, when you are at the chapter level, so I would say really talk to your chapter leads or the mentors which are provided to you from your chapters. Not talk about only good stuff which you have in your company or in product. Talk about your problems which you are facing. Talk about the limitations which are there. We all have good part, but we all have some problems, some things where we are stuck, or some things which we are experiencing, like which are troubling. Talk about them also, because that's where we find a solution. We get different perspective how to solve it. That is where they also, being a mentor, they also are able to help us, like I would say, as a teammate, as a integrated part of your team. So I would say engage with your mentors given by your chapters as much as you can. So that helped me a lot during the semifinals. I would say, okay, talk about your problems also, and be really interactive with lot of times. It was not like, okay, it is 9 to 5 only. No, sometimes in the night, sometimes in the early morning, whenever you find mutual time. So be proactive in terms of getting to know your mentors and working with them. And during the finals, I can't say pinpoint that is the one thing which helped, but again I would say working on the feedback which you get during your semifinals, during listening to not only your mentors or the jury of the semifinals, your co-participants which were there in semifinals, or talk to those runners up also from your chapter. Okay, what went good, what was not so well. So that were the things which helped. Listen to the feedback, whosoever is giving it. Try not to defend it at that time itself. Incorporate it, learn from it. And second thing I would say is being honest is in telling about your work. Sometimes your slides may not be as lovely looking as everyone else's. Sometimes some people really say our English is not as good as maybe some of the participants coming from different part of the world. But I would say just be honest about your work. Everything else falls in place if you do that.
Excellent advice. Excellent. Um, I want to quickly ask that fear question. I don't know if all the participants know, but chapter winners do get a all paid uh, 5 day, 4 night stay in Dubai as a president, I think. And that is being sponsored by Empower. So that if you could highlight that part of it also for our applicants and women entrepreneurs. That's pretty exciting too by itself.
Absolutely. Happy to do that, Revati. So, Empower is part of Bombay Stock Exchange's Saman program, and they have been a partner from the first edition and a terrific partner. Empower is a accelerator for women in tech. Uh, Currently, this is their sixth year of doing that. So they've been running this for 5 previous editions. And last year we were together for the 5th edition of Empower's culmination. So we joined forces, to be able to address more women entrepreneurs across India. This is a CSR initiative specifically focused on Indian women entrepreneurs. So last year, the understanding was that they would help us, bring all of these finalists from all the Indian chapters to Dubai. Uh, as you mentioned, they took care of all the accommodation and the travel and all of that, and it was a huge support. But more than that, I think it's really the again the resources that they bring. Given the background they have and the access they have. So we put our energies together to deliver our phase 2 programming as well, which was very, very intensive. And we covered a lot of the pain points that emerged from all the surveys that we did with our runners up, 3 runners up per chapter and the finalists from every chapter. So we had boot camps for all the finalists that traveled to Dubai. And then we had accelerator runners of workshops, all virtual, of course, that the 3 runners from every chapter had access to. So all the programming was done in collaboration with Empower. This year, it's even more exciting. Our partnership has obviously matured as well. So while our other partner, GITEX in Dubai, is going to be very kindly hosting all the finalists from the globe, not just from India, Empower is adding more benefits for our participants by offering cash prizes in India. So we're actually going to have, so India is, definitely going to benefit a lot more from this year's programming, and we hope to keep enhancing that year on year. So we're going to have an in-person accelerator workshop. Besides the virtual ones that will go on at a global level, we're going to have an India-specific in-person accelerator workshop in one of our chapters in India. And that's work in progress right now. We're putting that together. And it's going to be a 2-day workshop that Empower is bringing to the table. And besides that, they are also going to be giving 3 cash prizes at a culmination in India, which is going to happen after Dubai. And not to say, so last year from the 3 top winners, we had 2 from India. One happened to be from New York, the 3rd place. We're not saying that all 3 this year in Dubai will not be from India. But even if we do end up having 3 winners from India in Dubai, we want the rest of, so we've got, as of now, we've got 19 chapters from India participating. And that's a big jump from last year again. So we are actually hosting, along with Empower, we're hosting what is known as a demo day, which is part of their regular format. And all of this information, Revati, is available on TiEwomen.org. Under FAQs, under, if you watch the video, and of course, with our excellent program manager, Aparna Mishra, who's been like a rock for this program from the beginning. She's, your go-to person for everything. So the wealth of information. We are actually going to have a demo day in Mumbai at the Bombay Stock Exchange for all the finalists from all the India chapters with 3 cash prizes, which we're going to invite the Empower team along with Mr. Hemant Gupta, Gaurav Prakash, and Abhishek Rotkar. We're going to make a special announcement to all the chapter leads so that they can then onwards promote it in their marketing and their communications. So we're very excited to have these partnerships. I mean, Empower is absolutely a fantastic partner for TiE.
That's excellent to know. I seriously wish I had an early stage or a late stage startup I could apply with. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing that you brought this up. What are the tentative dates that we need to keep in mind? I know August 31st is the deadline for chapter level winner, to pick a chapter level winner. Then what happens between August 31st and October 21st, which is when GITEC's last day?
Sure. We will be in Dubai with all the finalists from October 17th to the 20th. GITEX is going to be probably a day extra on both sides. We'll end up being there for 3 days. So on day 1, we're going to have obviously all the networking opportunities and journey stories and settling in, which was a very exciting part of what we had for the last edition. And Shivani's spoken a lot about it already. Everyone coming from different parts of the world. This time the numbers are even bigger, so a lot more excitement. And it's thanks to TiE Dubai and the team there. They do a phenomenal job. On day 2, we're going to have the semifinals because it's again almost 40 women entrepreneurs. and potentially a lot more from the UAE, MENA region as well. We are going to have different tracks in Dubai for the semifinals. And then we'll have the finals in the same format as we did last year. And of course, we're looking to have a lot more technological advantages this year because of GITEX and their terrific outreach that they have and the support that they provide. So those are important dates definitely for the finalists. As far as the runners-up are concerned from all the chapters, from September 1 all the way until December, they're going to have access to the virtual workshops. We're going to be hosting our culmination for the runners-up workshop in person. That's going to happen in early November. All the dates are being put together on the roadmap, and it'll be on the website if it's not already there. And then we're going to have the demo day at the end of November, and we'll share all the details with all the chapter leads for onward communication. So these are the important dates to keep in mind.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I have time for one question which I have to ask Shivani. Shivani, how did you pivot your business from, say, before you started, before you entered the competition and today? Did you pivot it at all? Or was it the same thought process from day one to now? Or did you change it because of, this is an audience question, did you change it because of the pitch visit?
Revati, no, we did not change. We all know there were lots of requirements which came up as requirement during the COVID time, and the pandemic threw up new challenges. But the problem area which I told you we are working on, the chronic wounds, wound care and wound management, that number didn't fall because there was a pandemic. That challenge still exists. People are still suffering from those wounds. Surgeries are still happening. People are still suffering from diabetes and having diabetic foot ulcer. There are a lot of hospital-ridden patients which are developing bed sores. So that challenge still exists. Healthcare still needs that intervention for managing these wounds. So we thought we would really like to focus on this only, so that this part at least we can help patients with, and we can have this technology in the form that can be applied not only in the hospital settings but also in the home care settings. So as we realized, the requirement is same. People with wounds are not falling lesser if the pandemic is existing. So we decided not to pivot and focus on this work.
And with India soon going to be the diabetic capital, I'm sure the demand for your technology is going to be stupendous. So thanks, Shivani. We're running out of time. I wish you all the best. And
Thank you.
now I would like to invite Vinodini, my co-chair for TiE Women program, also the managing director of Team on Advertising, to conclude the session and deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, Vinodini. Vinodini, I think you're on mute.
Can you hear me now? Yeah. Thanks a lot, Revati. What a wonderful session it has been. And as always, you anchored it so well. There's so many learnings, so much of it, I don't know how much we could cram into our heads in this short span of time. But hearing firsthand from Dharti as well as from Shivani has been, I think, very, very inspiring for all. And I think it's very encouraging because it's actually showing us how much more opportunity there is for women to enter entrepreneurship. And the mission with which, like Dharti was mentioning, TiE Women was launched globally. That is embrace, engage, and empower, and empowering women entrepreneurs to make sure that you create change makers here. I think that has been fairly well accomplished, going by the number of applicants that are, coming in year after year. And like I'm told, more than 19 chapters are there, have already sent in applications. And I think this year we're going to have a lot, many more. TiE Kerala, of course, we are participating for the first time. And this is our first edition. And I really feel that there is tremendous opportunity because there are so many women entrepreneurs here. And going by what Shivani was also mentioning, I think Dharti was also saying, this thing about fear of asking for help, that itself is a big deterrent. And I think we women need to get over that. Because if you look at Kerala, there are so many entrepreneurs. All we need is to push and motivate and make sure that everyone is encouraged to apply, to ask for help, to think of growth and to scale up. So I think these sessions, we need more of these really, because it has to encourage more women to come out of their shell, more women to, like I think Shivani or Dharti was saying about, you keep your head buried in the sand. More women need to come out to network, to look at asking for help, to handhold, and to scale up their businesses. So I think this is a start to a lot many more sessions of this kind, which is going to encourage and empower a lot more women in Kerala also to join this movement of scaling up their entrepreneurship ventures, and also to get more and more youngsters into startups and entrepreneurship, to change the mindset. Like TiE is starting it, and I think we need to encourage women also, women startups, to take it further and have more and more women entering this. So it's time for me to propose a vote of thanks. So formally, let me, on behalf of TiE Kerala, thank first of all our guest, Dharti Desai. She is the co-chair of TiE Women and president of TiE New York. Thank you so much, Dharti, for a very inspiring talk, and you have taken time off and to join us all the way from New York. And I think we really need more of your time here, so it inspires a lot more of us, our women here, to be encouraged and motivated to participate in entrepreneurship to participate in entrepreneurship ventures. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Shivani Gupta. Shivani, what an inspiring model of confidence you are, and you are going to really change the way a lot of women will think on entrepreneurship, because so many basic aspects you touched upon. Because when it comes to entrepreneurship, all it matters is the big idea, and to make an idea workable, all you need to ask for support, to have conviction in what you are doing, and to make sure that you network and you overcome all your worries, and you actually go forth to be honest with your work and to be a winner along those lines. And I think yours is a very, very clear example of how you have aced it through sheer dedication and conviction in your idea. Thank you so much for inspiring everybody. And even though it is a year old, I would like to, on behalf of TiE Kerala, say another congratulations to you for being that winner and bringing home that $1 lakh. It is excellent. It's great motivation for all women out here. And I'm sure this is going to inspire a lot of our women lot more of our women to apply for TiE. You are a great brand ambassador and spokesperson for TiE itself, TiE Women. So I think this will also enhance the membership, and women should see the opportunity of networking and being part of this forum called TiE and TiE Women, and also take this opportunity to apply to be part of the network, to mentor themselves. And so, like you said, it's not about winning, it's about actually getting networking, as well as making sure that you have a lot of people to reach out to when you need help to grow. I also take this opportunity to thank our Revati, dear Revati, who did a fantastic job of anchoring this session. Thank you so much, Revati. We really enjoyed the way you actually so casually asked those questions and made sure that Dharti and Shivani really opened out their hearts and told us everything that we needed to know on about the TiE pitch, global pitch competition. I would now like to thank, our president, Ajit Mukund. He has left now, but I would like to thank him for his excellent leadership as always, and for his august presence in all our events. I would like to thank Ms. Anisha Cherian, Vice President. She has always been a support for all events, including, she's also a mentor for TiE. She's the chair for TiE, and she has always been there to support all these ventures. Thank you very much, Anisha, for being here. I thank all our charter members who have taken time off this evening to join this event, and also all our guests from various forums and women and who are applicants and prospective applicants who have joined this event. I'm sure this has been a great mentoring session for all, because it has really motivated us all, motivated a lot more people to apply. So I would really like to thank all of you for having been here today. I would like to, last but not least, thank our team, Nirmal Panikar, Executive Director, and the most efficient TiE Secretariat team for the excellent coordination as always, and for handling the event today, including the platform that went off faultlessly and so smoothly. So I take the opportunity to thank everybody. At this juncture, I would also like to invite all of the prospective applicants who are here to make sure that you all apply. Please do not hesitate. Please see the opportunity here to apply for the TiE Global Fest, Pitch Fest, and make use of this opportunity to learn, to mentor yourself. And who knows, your idea might be one big idea and a winner. So there's a lot to learn here. So please do apply. The last date is 15th of July, and kindly download the forms from tiewomen.org, and please make sure that you send in your applications by 15th of July. That brings us to the end of the session. I would like to thank everybody once again, and have a great evening.
Thank you. I just want to make a small correction. It's June 15th. Please send it before June 15th.
Yeah, 15th.
Yeah.
June
Thank
15th.
You. Thanks, Vinodini.
Yeah, thanks a lot for correcting. Yeah.
Thank you so much.